This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
You're listening to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Welcome to our listeners down to Fox, South Bay's classic rock station in lovely San Jose. Also Bayou 95.7 in New Orleans. And Ted, our most recent affiliate, our friends down in lovely Joplin, Missouri at Big Dog 97.9. Everything that rocks. That's the station where we're going to get the Big Dog girls. So when we go down there, you want to cut them a liner? They've requested a few. Here we go.
Do they have a saying? Because I have my own Big Dog saying.
Everything that rocks.
Everything that rocks.
Everything that rocks.
Yeah.
Well, we need a little Big Dog here. Big Dog 97.9.
Damn it. I thought you were going to say everything that rocks.
I can, but I figured
you say everything that rocks.
You wait for that, and then you bark
Big Dog.
Oh, I got you. Take two. Joplin coming in 3 and 2. And Big Dog 97.9. Everything that rocks. All right, there we go. Phil Deck, requirement right there. Welcome to the program. Big show for you. Your guess is as good as mine. The word, random question. Our latest random question. What is the strangest thing that you've eaten other than a Tide Pod? I will say with this story, when I was growing up, there was and this is the same exact deal. There's a volunteer fire department. They try to raise money every year, so they have
a big cook thing.
They have a big cookout thing, and they used to do a rattlesnake feed and a rattlesnake competition where they would put rattlesnakes in a bag. I'm not sure what you call that. Rattlesnake roping.
Wait.
Who knows?
What's the competition? You just put how many rattlesnakes you can put in a bag?
They put all these rattlesnakes in a pen, and then they put 7 or 8 people in the pen, and they go and try to collect as many rattlesnakes as they can in a certain amount of time and throw them in a bag.
EMTs are close by, I'm guessing.
Oh, yeah.
Just cut the bones and suck on it, Cletus.
Trust me, man. There was all kinds of crazy
Couldn't they
crap.
just cook like chicken?
No kidding. I love VFD
Right, I thought
chicken.
that's what the
Right,
cook with
exactly. A little
chicken.
speedy sauce on it. After 80 years, 8 decades, platters heaping with pieces of deep-fried muskrat will not be passed among the diners at Lower Alloways Creek Fire Hall this year. In New Jersey, we're just putting a pause in the tradition, according to the fire chief, Steve Fisher.
Wait, we can't have deep-fried muskrat?
The muskrat dinner, well, look, they've been doing it this would have been the 80th year.
Of deep-fried muskrat.
This would have been the 80th year. It's a tradition. It's a fundraiser. It's one they've been doing through the fire company.
I guess they don't need a ton of money.
They have all these volunteers, but apparently there's a couple problems with it.
Well, it starts with muskrat.
That's one of the factors.
Yes.
Basically, playing into this year's decision to put dinner on hold is that the lack of muskrats means that the skin carcasses are they're not as hard to come by anymore. They section them, parboil, and then deep fry before serving. What does that mean then? Section. I know what section means. Parboiled, which means they're blanched.
Blanch them basically.
And then deep fried before they serve them. Okay, so the guy who is the fire chief, Fisher, traps them himself. And he said that due to the heavy icing caused by the hard freeze in recent weeks, it is impossible for trappers to work in the marshes where the muskrats live. Adding to that is muskrat pelts are only selling for $1 to $2 now.
You know what, man?
The market on muskrats has gone so much down that there's not enough muskrat meat. So after 80 years, town in rural New Jersey has to cancel the muskrat feed.
How big is a muskrat?
It's like a groundhog.
Because you're saying the pelts,
A little smaller,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be of a certain size for anyone to care about your pelt, right? Like no one talks about a squirrel pelt.
I just don't know of any rodent that I've ever heard that's been eaten. In other words, I've never heard anyone say beaver, possum, any of that stuff.
Squirrel.
I guess possum.
We've heard squirrel.
Is that considered a rodent? I guess it is.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
Well, in tinier pelts, though, like some of the most expensive jackets are those chinchillas because you got to take so many chinchillas to make one.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but that's the fun of hunting chinchillas. Really, chinchillas?
Chinchillas.
Yeah, those jackets are like the most expensive because it takes so many. I mean, guys, sounds horrible, but it takes so many of their little bodies to make enough fur.
You ever seen somebody got like a chinchilla jacket?
What's that?
You have
I've
a friend
never
that's got
seen
I've never seen a
chinchilla
chinchilla jacket.
No, but I mean, I watch rap videos.
They're wearing chinchilla?
Very fancy.
Yeah.
A
They'd
chinchilla.
be,
So is with a chinchilla jacket. So someone rolls in with a mink coat, right? And I don't know much about it other than it means you have money, right? But if someone rolls in with a chinchilla jacket, if they just one-upped.
That's higher up.
Yeah.
They have the
Really?
finest fur in the animal kingdom.
You're talking
That's
30
why it costs
G's.
so much. Yeah.
30 G's for a jacket.
Chinchillas.
Yeah.
Those are things kind of look like half rabbit, half frog, right?
Yep.
So those things. Huh.
And I swear to God, if it wasn't for rap music, I wouldn't know what they are.
Thank you, Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Rap. I have no idea.
Fat Joe had one for a while, and it was like, how much did that one cost?
A whole lot of chinchillas died for Fat
Whoa,
Joe.
Fat Joe.
Not for Fat Joe. Oh, my. I knew nothing about that. Hello, Wiley. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bicholas.
Hola.
How are you, Wiley?
I'm doing pretty good.
Okay. Wiley, let's go with this one. I think this is a good story here. Good or bad, one way or the other, what did you blow a whole lot of money on? Maybe it was a bad expense. Maybe it was a good expense. Maybe it was something that you regret buying.
Maybe you're in Peru with the last caller.
Yeah.
Cocaine was just flowing.
That would have to be Van Halen when they came to Seattle, was that about 10 years ago with Sammy Hagar?
You just blew money because you bought the ticket?
Yeah. Well, the entire night went through like $2,000.
Wow. How did you go through $2,000?
Let me guess. You bought 3 T-shirts.
Yeah, no, we did, it was me and my best friend. We did the limo. We did, what was that? Front row ticket.
I was going to say, is that did you guys buy like a VIP meet and greet or one of those deals?
No, what does $2,000 get me?
No, it wasn't quite the meet and greet. But it was 3 tickets, and it was down in the front and, actually in the, like the horseshoe portion of the stage. Because that stage they had it went out and then it horseshoed around on both sides, and they had a crowd down on each side, and we were down in there, and then just had a big old party. The whole day was just a big party half the night. And
were you drinking Cabo Wabo tequila?
No, didn't get my hands on it.
Okay. If they came back around and did another tour, would you spend as much money going, or would you still go to the show and just do it a different way? Let's say they got back. Let's say they
came to White River.
Well, let's say they get back together with Sammy Hagar. So basically, instead of the David Lee Roth era, you know what I mean, you're going to get all the Sammy years. Would you do the same thing to see that show?
Yeah, I'd probably have to.
Okay.
I'd probably have to go all out again.
All right. Hey, look, as far as spending money on something, if you really want to see something, except for Hamilton, that show is coming around, and my daughter's like, I'd really like to go see Hamilton. I was like, all right, well, I'll see how much tickets were. Over $1,000 a piece.
Wow!
And I was like, my God, honey, I'm sorry. I'm not going to spend that much money.
I'll teach you how to break in.
Yeah, exactly. But I do believe that experiences, if you want to go see something, are worth money. I just think that the ticket costs on certain things are getting a little bit out of hand.
Well, sure.
I saw where a guy with the Super Bowl bought 10 tickets for, oh God, it was unbelievable. $23,000 he spent or something like that.
That's about right. It's about $1,300 a ticket, man. I mean,
yeah, I think some of those things are cool. Like I told you, I went to Vegas once to watch a UFC fight, and we had a blast. But I would never spend that much money again to watch a fight there.
Oh, dude, like I said, we went to the Super Bowl, and that's the most money I've spent, to go
on
do
an individual
something.
ticket.
And, but one thing I do feel that's different about a sporting event, if it's specifically your favorite team, and assuming you're not a fan of the Patriots, you don't know when your team's going to ever go to the Super Bowl again. Right?
Yeah.
The Patriots don't understand this, but most of us don't know when our team's going to go back. Absolutely worth spending the money on it. But honestly, and I said this to Miles after we watched the Super Bowl, I said, man, the thing that truly made all of this worth it, like the experience was great. It happened to be in New Orleans that year, so you're going to have a good time there, right? Everything was great. But the fact that our team won saved everything, because we still would have spent the same amount of money. And then the one thing that we have no control over is how our team plays that day. Mm-hmm. We made every decision about what we ate, how much we were going to drink, where we were going to go, what we wanted to do, what we did in the stadium. But the only thing you don't have control over, that can really make or break the whole trip. So based on the fact that our team won, I would say it was worth every dime. If they didn't win, I'd been like,
Immediate feeling at the end of that game that every single penny was well spent.
Absolutely.
Without question.
Because they won.
But since we're in the tree, I'm going to and I don't know if Ted's going to back me up on this, but I think he's got my back on this one, okay? Because I'm pretty sure I'm right. All right? So, Prince comes to town. Mm-hmm. He's playing in this little club. It's a tiny little club. He's going to do 4 shows. He's going to do 2 shows on Friday night, 2 shows on Saturday night. Maybe it's like 8, 7, and 10. I can't remember what the deal was. Either way, he's going to play for about 2.5 hours in the club, right? Bum rush for tickets. We get the opportunity to get tickets, get through. How much are the tickets? Oh, God. They're $250 a piece. Okay?
Is that it?
$250. Oh, yeah.
All right.
I'm thinking Super Bowl. This doesn't sound
Money.
bad.
It's 350 to be
It's
honest with you.
it was
That's
a
what
lot
Miles
of money.
told you.
And me and Ted were like, "Oh God, that was so much money." And then we buy the tickets. We go to the show. It's a great show, much like Prince. He plays 80% of stuff you don't know.
All
And then-
backlit. Never see him.
Backlit. You can't see him. They finishes with Purple
But
Rain.
he's smirking
But
at
he's
you.
in a club. We're 15 feet away from Prince. It's cool shows. Musicians are great. The band's great with all that. We walk out. It's not like the Super Bowl. I don't go like, that was worth every penny. I go like, well, that was a great Prince show. I'm glad I was here. I was lucky. That was awesome. And then when he died, I went, oh, that was worth every penny.
Right.
That was worth every penny.
That's your Super Bowl win.
Right, exactly. Like it just took a little.
Prince died!
Oh, man,
Hell yeah!
That ticket was worth it now.
Well, with that
I just
Prince
figured
thing-
I'd see him again. Like anything else.
That Prince thing, that was so expensive. But it was for me, I was like, all right, I seen him.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know that I would have shelled out any amount of money to go see him again, but it was nice to be
But you did.
I saw him in a small club.
Good or
Yeah,
bad,
yeah.
what did
But
you
Miles
blow
is
your
right.
money on?
Once he went to the next.
Then it justified it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's
So
just
deep down, you
because
guys
we
are
figured
both
we'd
like,
see him in a club
"Booyah!"
show. We figured we'd see him in another arena again.
Well, no,
Like,
now your story's cooler.
Yeah, exactly.
If he were still alive, you'd spend $250 freaking
what's
dollars.
wrong with
But
him?
now he's dead. I'm like, man, you only had to spend $250 and you got to see him at a club.
Yeah, which doesn't sound that maybe as bad now, but I'm telling you, when you have to click that button,
Well, yeah, that's a moment.
that sucks, right?
Nick,
I remember the boss was like, who are you taking? I was like, nobody. Just me.
Yeah. Nick Cage was once worth $150 million, and now he's talking about all of the money that he has lost. His
He can
purchases
sell advertising space on his forehead.
included 15 homes, a $25 million waterfront property in Newport Beach, a $3.5 million haunted mansion in New Orleans. Also dropped more than $12 million on 2 castles in Europe, not to mention a 9-foot pyramid-shaped tomb in New Orleans to reside in his next life. Then there was the Gulfstream jet, the private island in the Bahamas, conveniently located next to Johnny Depp's island. He also had, as pets, an octopus, a crocodile, a shark, and 2 albino king cobras.
So where does he think he wasted his money? All of this sounds reasonable.
This is where he thinks he's wasted his money. He spent $276,000 on a dinosaur skull that ended up being stolen from the Mongolian government, so he had to return it. He also had legit
Who hasn't had that problem?
pygmy shrunken heads and a crazy comic book collection that included Action Comics #1, featuring the first appearance of Superman. Sold that for $2.2 million. Cage ended up foreclosing on several properties, owing the IRS millions of back taxes. These days, he is worth $25 million. So it's not as bad as it could have been. He said, look, man, I didn't do it for the awards. I made some mistakes. I made all kinds of movies. But, yeah, he started with $150. Now he's at $25 million. But some interesting purchases.
I
for
hope
sure.
he can survive.
Me too. Random question, 844-999. Ola, more of your calls on the way. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Your guess is as good as mine on the way. The categories today, murder and people and populations around the world. In the meantime, it is our random question. 844-999-OLA.
Random.
Hello, Matthew. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Random.
Oh, bitches.
Hola!
How are you there, Matthew?
I'm good. How you guys?
Doing great, man. Let's
Cool.
see here. What do we got for you? Okay. Talked a little bit about this earlier, not intentionally, but what would you say turns you off more than anything else? What is the biggest turn off for you?
Bad teeth, bad breath, runny nose, tail.
I guess conceit.
Conceit.
Being conceited.
Yeah, conceited, just that higher, holier than thou attitude, Donald Trump.
Well, he's married, so, it's good luck with that. But, yeah, okay. So
Yeah.
but you don't like people who think a whole lot about themselves.
No, yeah, exactly. I try to humble myself every day a little bit.
Yep, okay. Hey, look, man, if you're with somebody who thinks they're all that, then, yeah, I think that would be... I've just never been with someone who thought they were all that, I guess.
Oh,
Yeah,
you were
but-
talking about somebody I was with?
No, just in anybody.
Oh, yeah.
So I
people in
personally
general,
don't-
Yeah, that's kind of people in general, the ones that, I get the most distaste for.
But what about someone you're with? Like, what's a deal breaker for you?
Oh, goodness gracious. Selfishness. Just total selfishness. That's what me and my first wife got divorced over.
I'm tired of doing the 68 position. I got you.
Yeah, it's all about, them.
Okay, all right. And are you with anyone now?
No, I'm single right now. The older I get, I find it the easier it is to be single.
Okay, all right. The reason we asked what turns you off more than anything else, I'd hard to disagree with the man on a lot of the points there, one way or another. Right?
Yeah, I mean, pretty solid.
Yeah. According to a new study today, the biggest turnoff by far for men is trying to have a baby. Seriously, when men were trying to conceive, they were 22% less interested in having sex, which makes it more of a mood killer than depression, being tired, or even erectile dysfunction issues. Mm-hmm. Researchers say there are two main reasons. One, men feel like they're trying to conceive. That takes a lot of the passion away. And two, it can lead to serious frustration if a couple is having problems.
Look, man, I think it's just easier to say, hey, look, either I'm off the pill, or if we have sex, if I get pregnant, is that a problem? If the answer is no, then it doesn't cross your mind.
No.
Sex is still sex. We understand biologically how it's done. But if it's let's try to make a baby, like, hey, man, no offense, but like when you say baby, all sex drive leaves. It just does.
Yep.
If that's a position you take on this, like, yeah, I'm not.
Right, I mean,
I'm not feeling that.
Right. That's how it works. But like, I don't know. Generally, you don't think, oh, look at that attractive person. I want to make a baby with him.
No.
You're just
Right.
like, I want to have sex with him.
And we understand what may or may not happen. This is understood. But, like, if you bring it up, it'd be like saying, hey, man, where do you want to go and hopefully make ourselves poop later? Just say, hey, where would you let you go for dinner?
And then eventually that'll happen.
What do you mean you're not hungry now? All I said is, what do you want to do to force poop out later? What's so bad about that, right? So it's the same thing. Like, let's make a baby. Like, how about you say, want to have sex? Yep, sure do.
Okay, good time. Random question, 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Scott. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
All right, Scott, welcome to the show. Let's give you this one for the random question. What did you forget? What did you forget about? Maybe you missed a date, a birthday, an anniversary. Maybe you left your favorite sunglasses on a table at a bar. What is it that you forgot?
Oh, I'll tell you, just reminded me. I think I left my keys at home.
So if Miles had not asked this question right now, there's a chance you would not have remembered that you left your keys at home.
I'm sure I probably would have figured it out when I tried to get in.
Yeah, eventually.
Okay. All right. But you've never forgotten any big dates? You've never forgotten any anniversaries, any birthdays, anything like that?
No, not really.
Okay.
But you forgot your keys at home today. That's impressive.
I'm really loving this keyless lifestyle I'm leading these days.
That's how you go with the door code punch.
Well,
thing,
they have a card here, which doesn't really necessarily work the greatest for me, but it's just like a little
Your card does not work well.
That they put in your wallet. And then at home, I got a touchpad. Mm-hmm. So now I'm I'm keyless.
What happens if you forget your number on the touchpad?
I am screwed.
Okay.
But I will never lock myself out, or I'll never forget my keys ever again. I'll just forget the code. And I can feel better about
Wouldn't that be locking yourself out?
It would be, yes, but not in a physical stance. Like, I did not leave
But
these
you're
keys.
locked out.
Here's the thing. I'm not going to...
Are you going to feel better because you forgot your code than you would if you left your keys on the counter?
Absolutely.
But it's the same problem. You're locked out either
No,
way.
it's
Right.
not. No, look, okay, all right.
How is it not?
Okay, I'll tell you.
The door's locked,
All right.
and you're
can't
out.
get in.
Okay, all right.
So to
okay.
me, you're locked out.
What do you do as soon as you
Keylessly.
realize you left your keys or you left your wallet somewhere?
I curse out loud.
You go back and you retrace your steps. See,
Sure.
with the keys, all right, I think that they are physically someplace that they are not. And I'm going to lose my freaking mind going to the last place I was with. Oh, maybe it wasn't the last bar I saw that. Maybe it was the restaurant I left the key. Did I leave the keys at work? Maybe I can go to try the keys at work. Did I leave the keys in the cab? Maybe the keys are in the cab. Blah, 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 blah. With the knowledge that I'm just an idiot, I don't have to go through all this.
So you feel
I don't have to-
better
I don't have to drive around looking, calling, hey, man, did I leave my keys at the bar? Hey, man, did I leave my keys at the restaurant? Hey, man,
And
what
you
if I
can
left them on the
enjoy
bus?
that thought outside.
I'm just dumb.
But
You know
how
what I
do
mean?
you
Like,
get in?
No,
Do you feel any smarter going back to a bar going, I can't get in my house because I forgot my code?
But I didn't leave my keys here.
See, I don't have to if I don't have my code. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't have to physically, I don't have to do the legwork afterwards. I just know I'm an
It's-
idiot.
you are accepting the fact that I'm
yeah.
simply locked out.
Just stupid. You know
So
what I
the
mean? Like,
problem is the same, yet you feel better about this one?
don't you know the feeling
No,
of
he
losing
feels
something?
better because
and
he
you know-
doesn't have to call anywhere or go anywhere to try to find it.
Okay, I'm
Miles
severely
has decided-
confused.
All right,
because he
Mike-
doesn't
Mike-
physically have to
Mike,
do anything.
Mike, you lose your remote control, right?
Yeah.
You're going to go nuts going around your apartment trying to find that thing.
Sure.
Right? No matter what.
Yeah.
Okay? That's the same as the keys. if there are no keys to lose, then I'm not going to go around because I'm so OCD that I know I put that thing somewhere. If there's nothing physically for me to find, half the battle for me is trying to find where I left that stuff.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm
Wait a
saying?
minute, let's back up. You said I will never get locked out again. You're still locked out of your house.
Oh, no, that's true. I could be locked out, but I wouldn't have to face the
But
same
you don't have to
mental
go anywhere.
torture of like, did I leave the wall in the car? Did I leave it here? Did I leave it? Because then it's going to drive me nuts. Like, where in the hell did I leave
It's not
this
going to
thing?
drive you nuts sitting outside in the rain going, it's my code.
But now he can just go to the office to get the code, Ted. He doesn't have to retrace his steps
But
to
where do you
find
go
the
to
key.
get the code? Like, if you forget your code, like,
I don't know.
Who do you call? The code people? I mean, like,
Probably
then
code
what
people.
do you do?
I'm not sure.
Because now, like, look, if you need
I
a
should write-
locksmith, the locksmith will come over to the locksmith. They can fit the lock. You can switch your lock. With this, it's like, God damn it, man. Like, who knows my code? That's not me.
I'll
And
write
let's
down
talk about the
code.
important thing here. What happens? It's summertime. Everybody wants a shotgun of beer. You ain't got a key on you. How you going to open your can?
That's a good point.
How you going to put a
That's
hole
a
in
really
it?
good
Oh,
point.
Miles is drinking his
Yes,
beer like
exactly.
some civilized
Can I
punk.
borrow your keys
Yeah.
to shotgun a beer? No, you can't, sir.
Because I have a fob.
That's right.
I just have a fob.
The governor of Vermont, the reason we asked, what did you forget? Phil Scott, all right?
Phil Scott.
Phil
Wouldn't trust
Scott
him.
said last week that he would sign the recreational pot bill before Monday came around.
Ain't
Following
no
week.
other kind of weed.
Yeah. He said he's going to sign that state marijuana legalization bill. No problem. It's going to be great. But he promised one thing, that he would get it done before the weekend. So Monday rolled around. Guess what he forgot to do?
Are you kidding?
No.
Of all the bills you could forget.
He
to say,
forgot.
Just sorry,
Yeah,
man.
he said it wasn't clear if I made a good call on that. Sorry, I'll sign it today. So he ended up signing it Monday instead. So
I like that he forgot to sign
But that was
a
what he
weed
said.
bill.
He said, oh, yeah, just I don't want you to feel that this is not a monument occasion because it is. Main thing is it's signed. I'll sign it. Yeah, I just forgot.
God damn. Of all the bills.
Dude, forgot to sign the weed bill, man.
Sorry,
My
man.
Got busy over the weekend.
Random.
Hello, Justice. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
All right,
How you doing,
Justice.
gentlemen?
We're doing good, man.
Yeah, man.
Here's your random question. Based on your appearance, physically, what do people assume that you do or do not do? Based on how you look.
They would assume I don't lift.
You don't lift?
Based on your physical appearance, meaning that you
Yeah.
don't look like you go to the gym, but in fact you do.
Yeah, I'm extraordinarily skinny.
All right, now how long have you been going to the gym?
Come again?
13 months.
13 months.
Okay.
And can you tell any difference? I mean, you know what you look like before you went. So when you look at yourself, can you tell that you go to the gym?
Yes.
But no one else on earth could, right?
No, if you didn't see me without a shirt off, you'd assume that I'm still. I mean, I'm now 145 pounds, but you'd assume I'm still 135.
Okay. So you're trying to bulk up a little bit.
As much as I can. Like my digestive system is like a super processor. It's literally incredible.
How old are you?
I am 24.
24. All right. I would maybe not. I would think that as age goes on, that'll be, what I'm saying is enjoy this period of time in your life. Although this seems like a tremendous hardship for you to be able to eat whatever you want, like a human trash compactor, not gain any weight, and not be able to put the 10 pounds of muscle on that you want. Trust me when I say that 99% of the population would change places with you if they could eat whatever they wanted to, and their metabolism would go through the roof.
I think you're going to be
I hear
fine,
you.
man. If your frame's already that tough, like if you were 180, I'd be like, right, enjoy 220. But if you're 145 because you went to the gym, at best, I'd be enjoy 155.
Right. Sure.
Yeah.
You were saying, Steve, one time you went to Mexico and you went out to the beach, and it wasn't you were out there for 2 minutes before somebody tried to sell you weed based on the way you look.
But I was the Bahamas, and yes. Well, now, again, it was the Bahamas. Understand the full thing, all right? I mean, literally, I have just gotten to the beach, and these two guys that were sitting on the hood of a pickup, they chat among themselves, they start walking toward me. And I already know what to do. Either they're going to rob me or they're going to sell me weed. I'm happy to say they're there to sell weed. It's like, big man, you want to buy some weed? We do our transaction. The weed sucked, by the way. I mean, it was weed, but it was not very good weed. Anyway, so.
All the risk with bad weed.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? I didn't have a
I'm with you.
connection.
I'm just saying it sucks to have
I
the
smoked
smell.
the hell out of it, but it was not the best stuff. So I bought it from him, and I said, man, is it that? Keep in mind, when I walked down there, I got a buttoned-up shirt on, all right? And so I said, is it that obvious that I'm going to buy weed? And he's like, man, you buttoned your shirt wrong. And I looked down. It was off by like 2 buttons, so one collar's way up, the other one's half down my chest. I'm like, Okay, so his judgment call wasn't like me so much as it was the fact that if he doesn't know how to button his shirt and clearly has been wearing it this way for hours, he might be high.
Yeah,
and he was right.
Every festival I go to, I have one buddy that everybody thinks is a cop.
I get that a lot, too, as far as scalping tickets and buying drugs.
And people always want to sell me drugs.
Oh,
really?
Yeah, I think just because I'm smiling, and generally if it's a festival, like I'm just kind of walking around. So, I might already be a little buzzed up, but whatever reason, people are always like, "Hey, man, like, what do you need?"
Yeah, but aren't you wearing like a jester hat or some craziness anyway with lights blinking off of it and stuff? I mean,
I'm going to sell drugs to that guy too.
Exactly. I mean,
but it's not even that. I'm telling you, during the day, at nighttime, whatever, people are always trying to sell me drugs.
Okay.
Yeah, I get a lot of offers for drugs for sure, man. And I'll be honest with you, it makes me happy, but it sucks because if I am walking with Miles, no one's going to offer me anything.
No
one offers me. Because everyone thinks that Miles a cop.
But
and I just want to tell him, like, look, man, I know you don't know this guy, but I can promise you, unless he's deep undercover. I mean, deep undercover. My man is not a cop.
But I can hail a cab.
Yeah, that was the big joke at Burning Man. Was the one guy was all freaking out next door because he thought my buddy was a cop. He thought we were both cops.
Same guy.
Yeah, you know.
Same buddy. Yeah,
I can guess exactly.
Yeah.
And then so our neighbor that was freaking out, right? And he might have been, like 2 or 3 days. So he's kind of losing his mind. He thinks we're cops. And then somebody else talking about me was like, the one guy smokes a lot of spliffs for an undercover cop.
Yeah, exactly.
He's been smoking weed pretty much the
They
whole
were
week.
riding
I don't think he's a cop.
They were riding bicycles in a haboob.
Right. He's not a cop.
I don't think that's what cops do. I think they're smarter than that. The reason we ask, based on your appearance, what do people assume you do or do not do? Russell Miller, 23, Butler County, Pennsylvania, faces felony misdemeanor drug possession charges after police say they found him holding 245 bags of heroin.
Good Lord,
and hundreds
man.
of dollars in cash during just a routine traffic stop. According to, I love this, the Cranberry Eagle. They report that he is now facing felony and misdemeanor drug possession charges. He's in jail at $50,000 bail, which makes this story interesting. It says a routine traffic stop for speeding turned into a big heroin bust in western Pennsylvania, as police say a clean-cut passenger in the speeding car turned out to be holding 245 bags of heroin. He was a clean cut. Basically, what they were saying is he was a good-looking man.
He's a good-looking white guy.
Good-looking white guy. Clean cut. We never would have expected he had like 5 pounds of junk in the back of the trunk.
That's the guy I trust. The clean-cut guys I trust the least. There's no question about it. By the way, I just clicked on to the cranberryeagle.com. Mm-hmm. Honest to God, I'm shocked they have a website. I really am. So I'm just checking out their local news. Let's see. There's politicals. PennDOT crews are keeping Route 19 clear in winter. I don't believe that. PennDOT
hasn't done anything in years. How are they supposed to do that?
Officials blast birth certificate wording.
Okay, I think we're getting
Dude, I have a buddy that lives in Butler, PA, and he always told me about all the heroin up there, and I was like, in this little town? But same thing. It's just the way like the highways connect or whatever.
Sure.
In Western PA, that's like the thoroughfare.
That's it. Yep, it's got to be.
Random.
Hello, Joshua. Welcome to the men's room.
What's going on, Mr. Thrill? How are you guys doing?
We're doing well, man.
Good,
How
man.
about yourself?
So, quick story for you guys. It's only like 30 seconds. So, you guys always talk about eating like small rodents and cats and whatnot. So, like back in the Great Depression, my great grandma, she was very poor, so she would have bunnies at her house. She'd go around the neighborhood, collect the stray cats, and then she'd strip them and sell them for the rabbits. Nobody knew the difference.
Wow.
Damn.
Okay.
She was selling cats as rabbits.
Yep. Apparently, they taste just the same, and they look the same once they're skinned.
Huh. Okay. Interesting.
I'm very glad someone told me. I was wondering, man, do you think I told them between a skinned rabbit and a skinned cat?
I mean, in these people's defense, though, if I just brought in a thing of pork and a thing of beef, you think you could tell without me telling you which is which?
Pork and beef, yes.
Maybe. I mean, it depends on the cut.
Pork and lamb, maybe not.
Yeah, pork and lamb would be tougher, but point made, right? You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Okay. All right, let's go with the food question. What did you eat that made you really sick?
Ooh.
Cat.
Fur. So there was a little roach coach, little chimichanga, breakfast burrito, and then they threw in some like very questionably colored jalapenos. Man, I was on the toilet playing to the ceramic gods for probably 72 hours.
Throwing up both sides?
Both sides, man. Like I couldn't leave the toilet. It was bad.
Okay. Yeah, man, there's nothing worse than the feeling of food poisoning coming on, the mouth sweats, the stomach gurgling.
I will say, and look, I'm sure it's the place, but just the sound of breakfast chimichanga. Like, I keep my expectations low of anything good, right? It might be delicious and all that, but I just feel like my day will be different because I ate it.
Yeah. Doctor in Fresno, California just shared a story of a patient who came in last August. Guy said he ate sushi basically every day, salmon, but then last summer he started feeling kind of strange, and he had some bad diarrhea, bloody and all that. One day he was on the toilet, and his diarrhea, and he felt something dangling out of him, down there. He was afraid it was part of his intestine, but he kept pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling until it came out. It was not his intestines. It was a 5.5-foot tapeworm. Doctor says the tapeworm was probably in a piece of salmon that the guy ate and grew inside of him for at least 6 months. Fortunately, the guy's okay. But he says he's done eating sushi.
Yeah.
Random question, 844-999. Ola, more your calls on the way. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Silicon the Word has the least popular names in American history from the late 1800s, and there are some doozies in there for sure. That's coming up right before we drink a toast with the shot of the day. In the meantime, it is our random question. 844-999. Hola.
Hello, Gary. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, bitch, hola.
Hola.
Hey, first time caller, long time listener.
Appreciate it, Gary. Thank you, man.
Welcome to the program.
Okay. 7, guys.
Gary, when would you say that you officially kind of knew that you were an adult? I mean, obviously, it's 18 years old is when you are legally an adult. It's 21 when you're legally allowed to have a drink.
But you don't feel it. You might feel it if you get arrested when you're 18, because it was nothing like when you were 15.
No, but you definitely know when you're in that adult lifestyle. Maybe it's the fact that you realize you're going to stay at home for the first time on a Saturday night. But when did you know that you were actually an adult?
Well, I don't know. I consider myself kind of young at heart, and this is going to reflect my age by telling you this, but I've always been active, doing a lot of stuff. Well, when you got to go on medication for like high blood pressure, I go.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that does suck.
Now I'm at that friggin' age.
Yeah, how old are you?
52.
52. Well, I mean, all things considered, that seems too bad. That seems about right. What do you have to do to...
But it's the reality of having it. Like, I hear what you're saying. I'm not on any medications, but obviously as I take older in years, every time you visit the doctor, it's just a little different than it was, say, when you went in your 20s, right? And I get that. And it's, the day is going to come where they're like, hey, we're not saying you're in bad health, but you should take whatever it is.
I've got a physical coming up. I know I'm going to hear the same thing I hear every year. You need to quit smoking as soon as possible.
Well,
it's going to be the same thing they're going to say every single time to me. There's going to be a couple other things, but
I don't mind that one because it's like, you're right. And I know that. Like, I know that. It's different when they're always going to say you should stop smoking. You can be in your 20s, you can be at our age now, it doesn't matter. It's different when they say, hey, man, smoking, this is what it's caused.
So what are you supposed to do when you're on this medication? Is there certain food you're supposed to eat?
It's just one of the ultra basic high blood pressure medications, but I am supposed to, they say, cut out the salt, lay back on the booze a little. I don't smoke, so that wasn't an issue, but yeah, and the fact...
how can you cut out on salt? That means you basically cannot eat out.
You're right. Yeah. Or watch what you not as often, and it's been a life changing.
How many years have you been dealing with the change?
Tried like a month.
Oh God! So it's that fresh, man.
Have you lost any weight on the change of diet or whatever?
I have. Couple pounds so far.
Okay, well that's got to be encouraging news. But
I wasn't severely overweight, but being 52, you got a little packed on from the years. But
would you rather be able to eat the stuff you want to eat and keep the pouch, or are you happier losing the weight but not eating the stuff you like?
I've always wanted to lose weight. I'm just I don't want to look like I travel a lot. I try to look good when I do travel.
No, I get you, man, but it's different when the doctor tells you really need to do this versus like a lot of people. They decide every January, right? They're going to go to the gym, blah 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 blah, and that's fine, that's great, and it's because they chose to do it. It's entirely different when your doctor tells you have to. It's just not as much fun.
Here we go.
So your sense of satisfaction is a little different.
Reason we asked, when did you know that you were actually an adult? And I think we kind of toe on this line that when you're in your younger 20s, you still kind of get a pass. Not that you get a pass, you're still going to go to jail, but as far as the dumb things that you did in your lifetime, you're still in that dumb window.
Right. It's not the eyes of the law, but in the eyes of other adults, you definitely get a pass. And like, you understand why you made the stupid decision or why you drank 2 bottles of Jägermeister and still went to work, blah, blah, blah. We get it.
So,
like, the cops don't care, but at least the judgment of other people, they get it, man.
So, but basically science kind of concurs. They say, look, you legally become an adult when you're 18, but you know you're not close to being mature enough to actually be considered an adult. As scientists say, a new study in Australia found that our brains and bodies don't actually get all the way out of adolescence and into adulthood until the age of, any guesses?
39.
24.
24.
Oh, damn. So that's really
right.
when you become an actual adult, as far as your brain and your body are concerned. And the researchers say it may be why people are waiting until they're older to get married, have kids, move out of their parents' house, whatever the deal is. It's just...
I think also 24, like, for the most part, even if you went to college, like, you're kind of on your own now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? By, like, mid-20s, like,
your bills are
all
your
those
own.
kind of support systems are kind of gone.
Mm-hmm. And you're just left with a whole lot of debt.
Random.
Debt and laundry. Hello, Ben. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
What's happening there, Ben?
How's it going?
How are you, sir?
Pretty awesome.
Okay, Ben. Let's go with your derelict nature here. What is it that you have stolen? What did you steal?
Ooh, what did I steal?
Mm-hmm. You sound like the thieving type.
Not too much. I mean, really the worst thing I've ever stolen was, let's see. I popped some tags at Goodwill one time. That was about it.
At Goodwill?
I'm pretty...
What do you mean? You swapped tags, or you just took the tags off and walked out without the merchandise?
Swapped the tags. It was like a pink tag. It was 80% off or something like that. And so I got a really expensive thing, and I really wanted it, so I swapped it with the pink tag and got it for really cheap.
How expensive is the expensive thing at Goodwill?
Oh, well, I was like in high school. And so
okay.
it was like
All right. That changes.
$20.
All right. Yeah, well, yeah.
And I made it like $2, and it was for a suit for a choir performance. So,
oh my God! I mean, they should just give you the damn thing at that point. You know what I mean? Like, if you just walked in there and go, "I don't have any money. I'm in high school. I need a suit for a choir performance." Somebody should just walk you back there and go, "Kid, what's that?"
There you go. Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Come
exactly.
on! I mean, crying out loud. Random question 844-999 Ola. The reason we asked the question, "What did you steal?" Interesting story coming out of Elizabeth City, North Carolina, and a donut eating champion.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Donut eating champion. That is coming up here in seconds.
Hola! The shenanigans continue on the Men's Room Radio Network.